Pokemon Gold with only baby Pokemon was brutally slow with 6 weak Pokemon. But it's time to go back to using only one. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Emerald with a team of only one Pikachu? You guys have probably seen me beat this with Plusle and Minun. Their stats are on screen. Well, what people often don't know is that Pikachu actually has 100 lower base stats than either Plusle or Minun, let alone both. Yes, the baby Pikachu ripoff Pokemon is actually stronger than Pikachu. I really don't think people realize just how weak Pikachu is. He has lower base stats than the first form of any starters. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm sure I can beat Wallace, but I'll need to be level 100 for Steven, if I can even win. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Pikachu. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed, and no Light Ball because that's just too powerful. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Torchic with Pikachu so that we can do the whole run with it. I name mine Travis, as always. Ours is rash in nature, so more special attack and less special defense. Not great, but it'll do. Our ability is static, so sometimes when we get hit, we paralyze the target. It's nice, but we aren't exactly tanky enough to be getting hit often and surviving. So I think we all know how the start of the game is gonna go. Remember that one time I used Plusle and Minun in Gen 3 and had to grind forever for the first gem because it was a rock one? How about the Coughing Challenge in Gen 1? Or Pikachu in Gen 1? Or Shedinja in Gen 3? Or Abra in Gen 4? You get the picture, we have to grind like crazy. We're an electric type fighting 3 rock Pokemon in a row. Now Pikachu might be weaker than Plusle, but I at least learned Double Team and Slam early. Slam sucks, but between it and Double Team, I bet we could beat the gym leader at level 20, and that's hours faster than what I'd usually have to do. Roxanne time, and what we have to hope for is that we can get 6 Double Teams in for safety, and that 20 slams is enough to beat both the Geodudes while being healthy enough to still finish Nose Pass. Slam is inaccurate, so it's pretty unreliable, and our attack power sucks. Naturally, with their defense curls and potions though, we only managed to hardly take out the first Geodude before we faint. I can't really get any more moves that would be any better than Slam at this point in the game though, so I decided to just get a few more levels. I also get Travis to hold an Oranberry since we're allowed to use held items in the rules. That might be enough to win. Second try and it starts much better. Although I get hit a lot, the Oranberry keeps us reasonably healthy and Slam is doing much more damage. We take out the 2 Geodudes without getting beaten up too much, although we lost a lot of speed to Rock Tomb. Nose Pass is only rock type, so we can use Thunder Shock against him, but it's not doing too much. I nearly had a heart attack when Nose Pass hit a critical Rock Tomb on us, leaving us with 1 health. Then she outsped me and used Tackle, but it missed and I finished her off. With that done, we can finally make real progress. I'm sure you guys have all heard about the usual traveling stuff you have to do here, so I won't bore you with the details. What matters is the fighting gym, our next real challenge we have. Brawly himself ends up being a walk in the park. Thunderbolt is a really strong move, and he's still using first form Pokemon, so the stats difference is pretty minor. Our next battle had me worried though, since our rival has ground type now. First she sends out Lombre, and he's part water, so I just Thunderbolt. We take a little damage, but nothing too bad. Marsh Stomp is part ground now though, so I have to use Slam, and his Mudshot messes us up badly. We get lucky though, and neither Slam misses, so we hang on. Last is Slugma, but 1 Thunderbolt is all it takes, and we can get to Mauville now. The trainers in this area didn't stand a chance, but they did get us a few levels. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to take out the Electric Gym though, considering they all resist my Thunderbolt. We might be able to brute force it, so let's give that a try. First is Voltorb, but he hardly does anything thanks to us resisting Shockwave. Electrike is more of the same, only using Howl and Super Potions, although he does a little damage with Quick Attack by the end. Third is Magneton, and this is where it gets rough. We get paralyzed fast as well as confused. His Shockwaves might not be strong, but we have a hard time even attempting to attack, and Watson has Super Potions. We almost take him out, but end up going down. I try again at level 40. This time I one-shot Voltorb and Electrike easily with Slam. I get lucky and critically Thunderbolt Magneton for a one-shot, and last is Manectric. We get paralyzed early, but we don't take much damage and still deal great damage ourselves. Watson blows through an insane amount of Super Potions, but in the end we win mostly thanks to our paralyzed luck not being too bad. We've got quite the trek before we can get to the next major battle of the run, so I take the opportunity to get a few levels off of trainers without having to grind all the time. Here's what I'm worried about, the Fire Gym Leader's team. As you can see, she's got a ground type. She's a real brick wall in the Plusle and Minun challenge, and I can only assume is going to be even harder this time. Every level that we can get is going to be vital. Maxie fight time, and it opens with Mightyena, so we have lowered attack from his Intimidate ability. We one-shot him with Thunderbolt, as we do with Zubat. Camerupt is dangerous, though. Slam hits hard, but for whatever reason, he's using Ember and Focus Energy rather than Magnitude. He does heal a few times, and we get incredibly lucky with Slam only missing once. Eventually, he hits a level 6 Magnitude, leaving us with only 5 health, but we hit our next Slam for the win. With that done, I get grinding. We all remember how badly the Flannery fight went in the Plusle and Minun run, and that was with a hidden power type that helped us. I haven't checked Travis's hidden power yet, but I know for sure we're going to level regardless. I mean, we have lower stats than Plusle and Minun, and that was 2 Pokemon. I have 1. I don't really have much of a choice. Here's our stats at level 50. The speed is incredible and the special defense is awful due to her nature, but I didn't expect the regular defense to be so bad as well. Looks like I probably got a bunch of attack effort values too. I'd kind of prefer special attack, but at least it helps me with the ground types. I also pick up the TM for Return and replace Slam. It's got 100 accuracy and does a bit more damage at this level of friendship, so this is a much more reliable attack. Fire Gym time. Numel is a one-shot with Return, as was Slugma with Thunderbolt. Camerupt is a beast, but through beautiful strokes of luck, she misses Overheat. She can spam Hyper Potions as much as she wants, but I'm doing enough damage with Return to keep her from actually getting another attack in, and I take her out. Last is Torkoal, and although it sets up a sunny day, it never gets a move off before going down. That went reasonably smoothly, but next is the normal gym, and we don't have enough health to survive long in there or the firepower to take them out quickly. We might need some paralysis luck to win. On our way through though, I took the Root Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. You know, we've actually never tried reviving this thing. I wonder what it turns into. The normal gym starts incredibly strong with us sweeping Spinda, Vigoroth, and Lanoon. Slacking is a beast with higher base stats than many legendary Pokemon, but his ability Truant makes him lose every other turn. I paralyze him right away, and through amazing luck, he loses both his first and third turn to being fully paralyzed, giving us an incredibly easy victory against a gym leader who's often one of the worst brick walls of the game. The next area is fantastic for leveling up. Lots of trainers, a lot of them use flying types, and none of them can stand up to a strong move that's as reliable as Thunderbolt. We won't really need the experience for the upcoming flying gym, but I'm sure you remember how hard the psychic gym leaders are from all the previous runs. It wouldn't surprise me if I need to be level 80 just to win that fight, so let's get every last level that we can. On our way to the flying gym, we one-shot sweep the last mandatory fight with our rival since she is really weak in the late game. I let her have a ground type to make it as hard as possible, but she's really only ever a problem in the battle under Cycling Road. Flying gym time, but it's a total sweep as you might expect. Altaria hung on from a Thunderbolt, but didn't even try hitting me back, so we got ourselves a very easy badge on that one. With the flying gym done, I can actually use Fly now, so I decide to go back to Devoncorp to revive the fossil and figure out what it is. Make your guesses down below on what it'll be. It's Youngster Joey, calling us to tell you to follow me on Twitter, where you can learn about exciting things like how I'm currently moving, and videos might take just a little bit longer while I do that. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. I love that I didn't do a Youngster Joey gag for 4 straight months. Everyone asked for it back, and last episode when I did it again, I got told that I use it too much. There's truly no pleasing some people, but I found it funny. Anyway, it's time for the second Maxie fight, and I get totally annihilated in one Earthquake, a 100 accuracy move. Okay, do you see why I've been over-leveling? All it takes is one jerk with Earthquake to shut me down. 5th try, and I spam out double teams against Mightyena for safety, but I ended up getting hit by Swagger, buffing my attack power, so by the time I got to Camerupt, I just one-shot him with Return. Then Crobat was one-shot with Thunderbolt. Thanks for powering me up, Maxie! Yet again, I am left wondering how you ended up as the head of this criminal organization. The Team Aqua base is a fantastic place to level up, by the way, since they love their flying types and water types. Now, I've got to catch a Magikarp since I need something that just exists and doesn't damage the opponent. As usual in these single Pokemon runs in Emerald, you need 2 Pokemon to fight the Psychic Gym Leader, so I just need to pick something that isn't actually going to help me in the fight. I try the Psychic Gym fight, but my god, it's not even close. Claydol has Earthquake, and the battle is basically 2-on-1. I'm going to need to level up more for sure. First though, I go ahead and get a Shell Bell, a held item that will let Travis heal a little bit whenever he deals damage. It takes an eternity, but I level up 10 times and try again. But I still don't even start to stand a chance. Of course, this is a challenge where I didn't get Zigzagoons to pick up rare candies for me too, so leveling is incredibly slow. I just have to keep grinding. There really isn't anything great that I can do other than overlevel. No new moves are going to save me, and even if I spam Double Team, they're using 100 accuracy moves and only need to hit me twice to make me faint. The luck that I'd need to beat all 4 of them in a 2-on-1 setting, while needing to build up at least 1 Double Team, is so impossible that it's 1 in a million that I'd win. One excruciating grind later and we're level 80, and this fight is baffling. The first major threat is down thanks to us critically hitting Claydol for a one-shot. Without a crit, it wouldn't go down. I know from failed attempts. Failed attempts are the same reason why Magikarp is leveled up, by the way. But watch the footage. We didn't win because of the critical hit. I won because Xatu didn't fight me. He just kept using Calm Mind. In fact, none of them even tried to attack Travis. They just kept using buffs while I took them down. If any of them just used Psychic, a combo of 3 times on me, I'd lose, and yet I ended up with a victory, 100% because they picked the wrong moves. This is some of that randomized Gen 3 AI coming into play, like you often see with Blue in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Every time you fight them, some small priorities will change that can result in incredibly different fights. After that is an Archie fight, but he is pretty much just a typical water trainer who uses a Crobat, so we easily sweep him with Thunderbolt. After that is the water gym leader Juan, but he's tougher. It starts incredibly well with some easy one-shots taking out his whole team, until Kingdra. This Kingdra fight had me on the edge of my seat. His first Water Pulse confuses us and we hit ourselves. Then he uses full Restore, we Thunderbolt to bring him to red health while paralyzing him, but he starts using Double Team and Rest to stay healthy, while we hit ourselves more and miss. We ended up missing so many Thunderbolts even before he used Double Team very much. We actually ended up Thunderbolting and paralyzing him a second time, but he just keeps using Rest, and because of his high dodge chance, it's hard to get enough hits in a row to actually take him down. At least we're healing off any damage we deal. He ended up fully healing off of 3 different Rests and a Hyper Potion, and eventually we ran out of Thunderbolts and had to end him with Return. I am so lucky he didn't just attack me and end me early. Finally, before the Elite Four fight, we have a Wally fight, but as usual, we sweep through him pretty easily. With that, let's take one last look at our stats before the Elite Four. It's good, but not great. We can probably only take 2 or 3 hits in most fights without fainting, so I'm gonna have to one-shot a lot of stuff. Make your guesses on if we can win or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Sydney. We start with the Lord Attack thanks to Intimidate, so I just Thunderbolt Mightyena for a one-shot. Shift Tree is part grass, so I have to use Return and take out half his health as he double teams. But our second shot hits, so he goes down. Third is Cacturn, so I have to resort to Return again, getting hit by Cotton Spores to drastically lower our speed. Second Return takes him down. Crawdont is a one-shot with Thunderbolt, and Absol can't hang on either. Easy fight. Second is Ghost Trainer Phoebe. Her first Dusclops just stalls with Protect, and he has the ability Pressure, so we use more power points, so I just try to build some double teams after paralyzing her. Although she has Shadow Punch, a move that always hits, so I have to be careful. After 3 double teams, I start fighting back, but she just keeps protecting. Thankfully, when I do get a Thunderbolt in, it's a critical one-shot. Second Dusclops is out, and this one has Earthquake, doing a lot of damage to us. It only took 2 Thunderbolts to take it out. Bayonet was a one-shot with a crit, Sableye was a one-shot, and our last Bayonet was a one-shot as well. Rough start, but ghosts don't tend to be bulky. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia. Celio goes down in 1 Thunderbolt, and Glalie hangs on from a Return and puts up a light screen. So I use Return again for the knockout. Another Celio hangs on from Return since I didn't want a Thunderbolt due to light screen, and they set up a Hail. Not that dangerous though, so a second attack brings them down. Her second Glalie causes problems though, using Explosion right away, one-shotting us. Well, that came out of nowhere. Fourth try, and Glalie ended up using Hail instead, so we finished it no problem. Last is Walrein, but surprisingly, 1 Thunderbolt took it out, in spite of how tanky it is. Between fights, I restore some power points and move on. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Drake. Shelgon is up first, so I take the chance to build up my 6 double teams, because there is no way I'm surviving Flygon spamming Earthquake without double team. Shelgon isn't very dangerous, so I'm able to build up double teams pretty easily, then take it out with returns to save on power points. I do end up taking a lot of damage by the end, though. Flygon is second, and he could probably one-shot me with Earthquake from full health, but he misses, and 2 returns take him out. Flygon's stats are pretty low for a dragon. Altaria is third, and Aerial Ace always hits, but we resist flying, so it's not too bad. Fourth is Kingdra, and you know how much I hate this guy. Thunderbolt does great damage though, and this one does Dragon Dance, so we take him out fast. Last is Salamence, so we lose attack to Intimidate. Thunderbolt still does great damage though, and he misses Dragon Claw, so we take him out in no time. Finally, it's Pokemon Champion Wallace. First is Wailord, and even with how tanky he is, one Thunderbolt takes him down. I also one-shot Gyarados, although his Intimidate drops our attack. We need that attack since third is Whiscash, part ground type, and return is doing very little. He nearly takes us down in one Earthquake, so I think it's clear that we can't win without double team. A few tries later, and we managed to build up a good amount of double teams without Wailord taking us out. Our health isn't full by the time we get back to Whiscash, but Shell Bell healed us for a lot. Whiscash used Amnesia even though we can only hit a physical move on him. Weird. He also uses a boatload of full restores, so it's pretty clear that Wallace understands this is his ace in the hole. Thanks to some good evasion luck and his own bad move choice, we do well. We do get hit by Earthquake once though, so although it's a knockout, we're hurt. Tentacruel hangs on from a Thunderbolt, but ends up getting fully paralyzed. He uses another full restore, but since that gives me 2 chances to attack in a row, I take him out. Fifth is Ludicolo, and although he's part grass, Thunderbolt is still our best move for this. He ends up using double team as well, so we actually miss a Thunderbolt, but we still take him out. I'm just happy that he didn't use Leech Seed. Last is Melodic, and Thunderbolt hits hard, then he hits Toxic. Normally that would doom us, but this is the last Pokemon, so I just finished off with Thunderbolt and win the game. With that done, we're in the Hall of Fame. There's still one last post-game boss fight, though, against Steven. It's gonna be borderline impossible, though. I managed to get through this with Plusle and Minun, only because Plusle had Hidden Power Ice. Well, our Pikachu is even worse, and we haven't checked his hidden type yet. After checking, it ended up being Fighting type. That's super effective against 2 of Steven's Pokemon, but it's not enough to win the fight for me. I decide to get the TM for Iron Tail instead and replace Return/Hidden Power, since Steel is good against a few of Steven's team. This might actually be possible. Let me know if you think I can do this or not. Let's do this. First try and... well, that didn't last long. Okay, I'm obviously gonna need to try this a few times so that he doesn't poison me. 6 tries later, and we get an attempt where he didn't manage to poison us, and we even got him to use a full restore. Interestingly enough, though, before I can finish him off, he switches for Clay Doll. This thing is terrifying because a single Earthquake can easily take me out in one hit. But with some lucky Iron Tails, I kept hitting and even dropped his defense, so I took him out without too much of an issue. Remember, Iron Tail is not a very accurate move. Egron is next, and he also has Earthquake, but his special defense is terrible, so we take him out in 2 Thunderbolts, no problem. Metagross is next, and not only does he also have Earthquake, but he's a pseudo-legendary with amazing stats. I keep trying to take him down with Thunderbolt after a Thunder Wave, but Steven uses a full restore. Thanks to some solid paralysis luck, though, he only attempts 2 Earthquakes and they miss, so we take him out. Cradily was no threat at all, going down in 2 Iron Tails and only trying for a grass move. Then the almost fainted Skarmory comes back out. He finally uses a full restore on it, but I easily Thunderbolted it down without it attempting an attack. Last is Armaldo, but since I have high evasion, he's just attempting Aerial Ace and I resist it, so we take him down easily in 2 Iron Tails. I'm gonna say, I didn't think I'd beat Steven without being max level. Our stats and moves being worse than Plusle's really made me think that I couldn't beat him yet, but it didn't even take an hour. I'm thinking I might do a Gen 1 Zubat run or maybe a Gen 3 Paris run for the next Pokemon Challenge. I need something that people request, but that I think will be reasonably fast to do since, again, I'm in the process of moving house right now, and I don't want to miss any uploads. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you want to see me do more challenges like this, please let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I can always use more ideas from you guys on what I should do next. Also check out the playlist in the description to watch all the Pokemon challenges that I've already uploaded. If you guys want to see more Pokemon stuff from me, my friend What a Geek and I are doing a Gen 1 randomizer over on his channel, linked in the description. Also, come to my Twitch streams and tell me that this video sent you. It's always cool to hear how you found the channel. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.